Sarah's Stamping Retreat. Today we're going to be making this cute snow globe card, and that's created using these snow globe scenes dies, which create all the bits that go in the snow globe and the hole for the snow globe, and the Feels Like Frost designer series paper, which I'll have a quick flick through. You can see it's all photographic papers on the one side, and then on the other it's also silver and white patterns. I hope that gives you a little idea of what's in there. So you can see I've used one of the silver and white patterns from here, but you'll see in a second that we're going to use this photographic print one for the other card. So this is the die that cuts the hole for the dome to come through. And you could obviously also use that to cut a piece of cardstock. If you didn't want a domed one, you could just cut a piece of cardstock the same shape and build everything up on the cardstock. Then you've got the plain and the detailed layer for this bottom piece here. You could just use a plain piece and put your sentiment on that instead of having this detail layer. And then you've got quite a few different things you can put in the dome as well. So you've got the deer, which we've used here, and the trees. Then you've got the two little polar bears that we'll use later. These two can combine together to create like a place of worship, and then this one actually cuts out a piece from the coordinating stamp set. So this is just a quick glance at what's in the coordinating stamp set. You get a couple of the greetings, you get a stamped image of the bottom and of the top of the snow globe, and you get this house scene and the snow, and this cuts out the house scene if you want to use that with that. And then the other thing that we're going to be using is these domes. So I've actually not made this into a shaker card, but if you want to make a shaker card, you can make it exactly the same way and just add a bit of glitter or sequins, something like that in. I decided not to use it as a shaker card because I think there's quite a lot of dimension in there, and all of the sequins or the glitter might get lost behind all of that dimension. But you could absolutely add things in there and make it into a shaker card. So these are the elements we're going to use for today's card. So we've got an A6 card base and a piece of silver foil sheet that's cut 1/4 of an inch smaller than the card front. If you want any of the dimensions for today's card, then they'll be on my blog, which I'll link in the description below. And then I've just cut a piece of the Feels Like Frost DSP, that one that I showed you, and that's an 1/8 of an inch smaller than the silver foil sheet. And I've just cut that dome shape out of the piece of pattern paper. Because I want to put this back in again afterwards, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue on the back of here. And to make sure it's lined up right, I'm going to line up my piece of pattern paper onto the silver sheet where I want it to be, and then I'm just going to use that as a guide to pop in this dome, and then we can build everything up on the dome in the right place on the silver sheet. So that's popped in there. Let's just pop this onto our card front. You'll see as we're going through, this is actually a really simple card to make once you know what you're doing, but I just wanted to pop up a video in case anyone wasn't sure how to put together these shaker domes. So then I'm going to build up what I want in the shaker dome. So I'm going to add on my trees with some, these are the mini Stampin' Dimensionals. Just wanted to use the minis today because they're a bit easier for the small delicate pieces like this. Pop that on there, and I'm going to add my two polar bears on top of that. Add the little one first. And then also what I wanted to do that I forgot about, but will do now that I've remembered, is just to add a little bit of glitter with the Wink of Stella brush. So I'm just going to add a bit of glitter to here. Don't know how well you'll be able to see this on the camera, but it just adds a really nice little sheen to it. I'm going to do that on the big polar bear as well. The other thing that you could do, which would add a similar effect, just not add the kind of greyish type colour, is to use shimmer card. You see the shimmer on that? I hope so. I hope it shows up on the camera. You can see I'm recycling this bit of card because there's a bit of stamping that I did the other day that I didn't want, so use that bit of card up again. All looks fine from the front. When you buy a nice card, you don't want to waste any of it. And I think that's the thing. When we're crafting, if you do make a mistake, just turn it over and do something else. Or you could always add a gem or a butterfly or something like that if it's on your actual card. Right, so I think with this you need to find out what works best for you. Some people might like to glue that on there like that. I prefer to glue it onto the piece of DSP first. So this is actually, as you can see, you can peel that off and just stick it on like this. Oops, make sure it's the right way. Although that stripy side is really lovely. So we're going to pop that on like that. And then we're going to just put a bit of glue on the other side. And these have sticky on both sides so that there's a nice tight seal if you do want to put any glitter or sequins or anything in. And if you're going to do that, you'd want to put your sequins or your glitter or whatever on here now before we put this on, and then this will seal it in. So then we'll just want to pop that on the front back card, making sure everything lines up nicely. And then when I die cut this detail layer, I actually die cut it with some of the adhesive sheet on the back, so I can just then pop that on there. And then I can just glue this onto the card. And that's our lovely card finished. So let's bring in the one that we made before. So thank you for joining me today. If you wish to purchase any of the products that we use today, you can find them linked in the description below. If you'd like to see future projects, then please click subscribe below, and if you press the bell, then you'll get notifications as to when new videos pop up. Thank you so much for joining me. See you soon.